distributed to council members and will form part of the public record. I'd now like to call the meeting to order, and can I have approval of the agenda, please?
With myself and Council Williams, that Council adopt the January 29th, 2024 council meeting agenda as presented.
Oh, that was nice. Thank you, Councilor. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And now I'd like to do the Indigenous acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land in which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and Ute people. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the Indigenous people who only share this land today, their achievements and their contributions to our community. We offer this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. And the more we learn about them, the more we realize they're the stewards of the land, with the protection of the country, and that they have a passion for one another and our people in doing things the right way. We can learn a lot, and may we always remember the past, but may we seek it in the future, so we foster a few reflections. Thank you. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Councilor Larson.
743 PD03-2024.
Thank you. All right, now, to send it out. We'll get there, folks. It's that kind of night. So now we have a presentation from the Baha'is and the Dumfries Air 200 project proposal. Can you please come to that? Make your presentation, please. Thank you.
Greetings, Mayor Foxton, members of the Township Council, and everyone else present today. On behalf of the Baha'is of North Dumfries, Tsuma whom are here tonight, thank you for inviting us to join you today. And special thanks to Karen Winters for assistance, encouragement, and support for this project for the past several months. In Karen's summary of our proposal within your agenda, she mentioned that we first discussed it with her in August 2023. That's true, so I'd like to add that our own work on this project goes back to October 2022, when many of us attended a meeting hosted by the Air 200 Committee, encouraging community groups to become engaged in this special year here in Air. We knew we wanted to do something special and considered many ideas, in addition to the one I'm sharing with you today. For many reasons, we agreed this is what we wanted to do. And now with your approval, we will become ready to continue our work to make this a reality. In the slides that follow, I'm going to kind of walk you through very briefly through the project, and with the 5 minutes or so that I've been allotted, I think we'll be able to hit the high points. If I can have the next slide, please. Oh, there we go. Okay, so when I first started talking to Karen about many ideas, and I'm going to tell you in a moment what this idea is, she sent me some photographs about where this thing could take place. And when we saw this picture, we said to ourselves, as I put on the label here, wow, so much potential. There's potential for everything we were planning to do, and perhaps even a little bit more. So here is an idea that we started to look at. And see, this is not a photograph exactly what we're going to be doing, but proof of concept. And that is a hopscotch area permanently painted into the park that be uplifting, colorful, fun. And as the children play their hopscotch, and we noticed during COVID, you might have too, there's a lot of people around town playing all ages, children of all ages, playing hopscotch. We thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to play hopscotch in something just so uplifting? But then, as we continued to look at ideas, we discovered another approach and said, if one is good, why not three? So again, this is not our exact sketch, but the idea of having 3 hopscotch areas. Now, something else is just, okay, here it goes. I noticed something else in front of me. So here's a little bit more detail about the hopscotch area itself. This is a draft showing to scale of the proposed site. You'll see the 3 hopscotch areas. And in a moment, I'll give you some detail on each of them. But this is, think of it as like a Y shape facing the fence in the park. What follows it is not precisely the design or the words, but we'll show you the plan. The first of the hopscotch areas will be words written in English to finish the affirmation, I am. I am brave, I am smart, I am creative. And then you'll notice a space there for the Air 200 logo. We'll be using the official logo, just didn't work miniaturized in my slide there. The second hopscotch area is similar, but in our second official language in French, to complete the affirmation in French, je suis. Now, we've got the issue in French that many adjectives are gender specific. We're working with actually a very good friend in Paris, France on this to come up with some really suitable adjectives that are gender neutral. And then the third hopscotch area will be the word peace in Indigenous and other languages in air. To pick the other languages, we'll be using some information from Stats Canada that Karen discovered this wonderful resource for us to use. And we'll find languages that are commonly spoken as first or second languages. Polish is on the list, for example, and others that are, Hindi and other languages that are representative of the diversity of our community. So here's a rough photo of, we took the photo that Karen sent and went out there with, and just superimposed, well, we went to where Karen sent us to and took chalk and kind of did a little sketch and photographed it. So this shows that there's plenty of space for it. Now, you might be wondering, tell us about the paint. It's got to be durable, it's got to be applied properly. One of the Baha'is that's here with us this evening, Randy, happens to be a paint chemist and has good insights and people in his company. He's helping us pick the best paint for the site. And we're going to be applying it according to all the technical specifications with site preparation and finishing, drying, and the safety precautions all in place. We'll be working with pre-cut stencils for the lines, the letters, and the decorative areas. Weather permitting, we propose doing the work the weekend of 11th March. All depends upon the weather, of course, but our hope is to have it finished before the long weekend. Sorry, thank you, Derek. I meant May, and you knew it, thank you. Yeah, right, we're gonna do it in 2 weeks, what do you think? Yeah, 11th May, thank you. And we're gonna have teams coordinating so there's proper drying time. There'll be a few people like me who won't be painting, which is their help clean up. So it's going to be an all hands on deck day. We would ask the township though, if we could have the area protected for a few days, they're coordinating it all. That's one thing that we'd like to have some official support on. Other than that, that is the plan. And what we'd like to see in consultation with the Air 200 committee and the township staff, an official dedication of that in June. And we can talk more about that later. So I hope I'm within my 5 minutes. I can take questions or comments. That's it. Well,
Councilors, any questions? That's awesome.
Just one quick question. That particular, excuse me, the particular area where we want to do this, is that technically, are cars going to be traveling there, like parking and moving from side to side? I'm looking out for the safety of the children.
That this is beyond the parking area. The asphalt is between the parking area and the entrance to the park.
Okay, so when people play pickleball, tennis, whatever, they're not parking there.
That's correct.
Ms. Winters.
Yes, student mayor to Councilor Oxnard. So we are going to install a barrier to prevent cars from going in and out of that area, to make it safe.
Yeah, because it's open.
Thank you. Councilors, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Can I have the motion, please? Councilor Taylor? Councilor Taylor, it's 8.1.
So we'll do.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Osmer, that the presentation of the findings of North Dumfries be received with thanks.
All those in favor? Very good.
Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll be looking forward to the work progresses. Thank you.
Next, Pat Radke, please, on the Senator.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to share an Ayr Cemetery update. So where my back is to, if you can see it. For those of you who may not know, the Ayr Cemetery is a 12-acre piece of land on the hill at the end of Stanley Street. We are in a unique position, not like many cemeteries in the region, as we have more than 5 acres of land to accommodate future burials. I would like to make a note for some of you that may not know that in 2023, the cemetery had 24 interments. That doesn't always happen every year. I shouldn't say some years are better than others, but that's the way it is. The Ayr Cemetery is solely run by a volunteer board of directors and 1 paid caretaker. Now in 2024, the cemetery continues to transform, evolve, and improve to provide a special place for the community of Ayr, North Dumfries, and beyond. Since 2019, the cemetery has made notable progress, beginning with partnering with the township with a memorandum of understanding, gaining yearly financial assistance and support. This agreement also gave the cemetery the means to repair and restore monuments, footings, and markers. This past year, we were able to complete 18 repairs. We also began the annual event 5 years ago, our Decoration Day, each September. This successful community event has welcomed generous donations for the past 5 years. Our mayor, Sue Foxton, and Councilor Ostner, our council rep on the board, have come each year, which has been very supportive, and thank you. The cemetery board created a website to assist with getting the cemetery bylaws, pricing, and donation information more accessible to the public, and that has been working really well. The board has also worked hard at updating and modernizing the bylaws and making sure that they comply with the Bereavement Authority of Ontario. They are a great support for us as well. The Ayr Cemetery dropped the title of company, as some of you know, and became the Ayr Cemetery, and now officially we are incorporated. A big job for the directors, but a very good move. In the past 5 years, the administration of the cemetery, with the expertise of directors, has improved our financial and bookkeeping excellence. I so appreciate their hard work in this area, and you know who you are. Now in 2024, we have an exciting project coming in spring. With the financial assistance of one very generous donation, the board of directors have decided to restore and improve the front entrance of the cemetery. With widening the entrance, replacing the deteriorating pillars, and adding front fencing, the cemetery will again be improved and restored. It is our hope that this project will be completed for the 200th anniversary weekend. The board of directors are a dedicated group of volunteers, and I am proud of the progress they have made. As president and on behalf of the board, I thank you for your continued support and look forward to renewing our relationship throughout the coming years. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Pat. Any questions, councillors? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please, Councillor Owen? Contract, okay, now wait, Jeremy, please. Jeremy, please, I'm sorry, it's one motion.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Foxton, Temple, and staff for having me to come provide an update on the status of the pump track project. So essentially, our main task on the project, our committee, is fundraising for the project. So we'll start with a fundraising update. To date, we're just over $96,000 committed to the project. So really close to breaking that $100,000 mark, committing to the 20% of our $500,000 fundraising goal. So a quick breakdown of where that is. So the title, sponsor, and naming rights of the park facility, claimed by the Black Pharmacy. Received a $10,000 donation from Air Farmers Mutual Insurance Company for the naming rights of one of our rest area benches. A $5,000 grant from the Waterloo Region Community Foundation, $1,000 grant from the local Boilermakers Union, and our fundraising to date on our community efforts, most notably the paper stone sales, is $5,400. And quick to touch on those paper stones, to keep promoting them. Our community level fundraising, so they're 8x8 paper stones. They're sold for $250 with tax receipts. So these stones get located at the pump track site. So it's a pretty cool opportunity to, when the facility's done, to have a stone with your name or your family name and a phrase is there to go pick it out. Checking the finalized facility out. So there's also the option, we did this at the skate park and it was very well received. We've opened up another round of being able to sell them there with hopes of raising more money, and there has been some interest in purchasing the 2 stones for $400. So that's been a good option. And there's a bike there that we've had donated that each stone order goes to be an entry to win that bike in a raffle. So as well as part of our fundraising efforts, obviously is grant applications. Trillium grant is a big one that opens in February. I've spoken with Andrew, CEO McNeely already about this, and the township to join me get a application together for this. Couple grants we've already applied to and awaiting responses. Hydro One, CP Rail, CPKC Rail, TFC Bank, and Enbridge, all applied for $25,000 from each of those. So anxiously awaiting hearing from them. And along with the granting, so Benevity is a website that most large donors are using for facilitating their granting. And some of these grants that I've already applied to, I've been able to apply sort of under, I guess, a township municipality cause, I guess is what is defined on their website. So I'm requesting that we work with the township and their account to be able to get the pump track added to the project so we can apply to more specific grants and how theirs are set up through this website. So I did send an email actually just recently in the last day or so to CEO McNeely, and that I believe Brox is going to help with getting this sorted out. So hopefully we'll work together and get this sorted quickly so we can keep our grant applications rolling. Further work on this large fundraising task we have ahead of us. Final point really, left to talk about is the location. So this, every time I talk to anyone about the Fun Fact site, the first question I get from everyone is, where is it gonna go? And it's hard because I don't have an answer. I'm hoping we can get a bit of an update or have some decisions made in the near future. I highlighted here, part of our memorandum of understanding has that a township report will come to council in Q4 of 2023. So we are past that and understand there's a number of factors contributing to this. But I'm hoping we can get a better handle on when we can see this report, if we can do expediting to this. Because it's starting to sort of have an impact on our fundraising efforts and in all aspects. It's hard to get somebody on board when I can't tell them where it's gonna go. So future plan, looking ahead, continuing our fundraising efforts, and joining in the Air 200 festivities. Our committee is looking to plan a 200-minute ride-a-thon at the skate park. So the idea there is participants sort of have a minimum dollar value to raise as far as a fundraising effort of maybe it's $50 or something to be determined. Everybody that raises that amount of money gets included in a draw for a number of prizes that we are going to secure from various sponsors and businesses and whatnot that way. So looking forward to that, and then a big event as part of the Air 200. Thank you.
Councilors, any questions? Seeing Councilor Austin.
I have a great suggestion.
Fire away.
I think, when you have that, ride-a-thon,
Yeah.
you should have a special event where all 4 councilors get on bicycles and race. I think that would raise money.
They told the mayor, that's how the mayor, they told the mayor.
Yeah, well, the mayor on a wagon.
Seeing no, also, could you maybe look at applying to Grand Mission?
Sure.
Can I have a motion to give Councilor Oldham?
Myself and my Council Williams have a delegation received from the Air Cemetery Board and the Air Pump Factory to receive with them.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Carried, thank you. Motion to go on committee of the whole, please, Councilor Austin. It's, number 10.
Move by myself, to my Councilor Chili, that council adjourns set as committee of the whole at 6:23 p.m.
No.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. We are now on development and services. Are there anyone wish to pull on the ends? Seeing no one. They are proposal bylaw amendment for Sheffield Road and Hilltop subdivision stage 3, phase 1 and 3A letter of credit reduction. Any questions? Seeing none, then. Straight. So Council World is reading this. So it's just a minute, right? Let me check all of them. Yes. Council Rose, go ahead, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Altman, that the committee of the whole recommend the following items be approved as outlined in the staff reports listed in the development services function area. Turning out the development services function area, ABE-02-2024 proposed zoning bylaw amendment ZC-0323 for 1120 Sheffield Road. The report number BD-02-2024 be received, and that Township Council approved the proposed zoning bylaw amendment to establish a site-specific exemption for the property municipality addressed as 1120 Sheffield Road to permit a beverage distillation facility and its accessory uses. And then Township Council is satisfied with the requirements for a public meeting in accordance with subsection 34, 17 of the Planning Act has been met, and that further that bylaw number 3460-24, being a bylaw to amend general zoning bylaw 689-83 with site-specific zone provisions to permit a beverage distillation facility and accessory uses as an additional permitted use at 1120 Sheffield Road be enacted. The PW-02-2024 Hilltop Subdivision Stage 3, Phase 1 and 3A Letter of Credit Reduction Request. One, that PW report number 02-2024 be received, and that the letters of credit for the Hilltop Stage 3, Phase 1 and Phase 3A subdivision file number 30T-05301, 828543 Ontario Inc. and 839658 Ontario Inc. Your use as follows: A, Phase 1, $0, B, Phase 3A, $0. And that staff bring forward a bylaw at the February 26, 2024 council meeting for the purposes of the assumption of the stage 3 phases 1 and 3A public infrastructure.
All those in favor? Thank you. Next, we have community services, which is the truck with the dump trucks, rural park amenities, display standard for banners in the Baha'i community being driving donation. Any item wish to be rolled? Council Robinson.
B, rural park amenities.
Any others? I would like to pull the banner one discussion. So. So, A and D are okay. A and D. Okay. So you're gonna be A and D.
Moved by myself, second by Council Osmer, that the committee of the whole recommend the following ideas be approved as presented and outlined in the staff reports listed in the community service function area. 10.3 Community Services Function Area, A, PW-01-2024, truck with aluminum dump box acquisition. One, that PW report number 01-2024 be received. Two, that staff be authorized to purchase the medium duty truck with dump box from Blue Mountain Chrysler in an amount of $106,088 plus HSD. Three, that the allowance of $12,500 be established for aftermarket fit-outs for matters such as safety lighting package, deckling, and undercoating, etc. Four, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute any necessary documents associated with this transaction. D, REC-03-2024 Baha'i Faith Community Air 200 donation. One, that council receives the presentation from Jillian and John Palmer's representing the Baha'i Faith community with thanks. Two, and that council receives record report number 03-2024. Three, that council accept the in-kind donation from Baha'i Faith community for the painting and installation of outdoor affirmation hopscotch. Four, that council direct staff to work with Baha'i Faith community partners on implementation of installing the affirmation hopscotch at Jim Schmidt Memorial Park.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Now we'll go back to, rural park amenities, Council Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have some clarification questions with regards to the second point, which is talking about the base level of service. There's two that I'm wondering about. One is the shade structure to accommodate two benches in our picnic table. It seems kind of small. I'm not sure what the picnic structures currently that reside in Clyde and Brampton, if they're larger or not, but I just was wondering if that was a little small. So I was just wondering what the approximate meterage that we're thinking that accommodates two benches for.
Ms. Winters?
I think, through the mayor to Councilor Wells, I think when we first, came up with this list, we were thinking about, like Branch and Clyde already have picnic areas with, tables under them. So it would be more, Roseville or, and also out by the playground. So we didn't really put, like define the actual structure, what it would look like. So that we just said, those were the comments that we had received when we did the, public consultations. So we didn't really define that it needed to be, you know, a little shade structure with a picnic area. We just, it was kind of general.
So I was wondering, it just feels a little, maybe it feels a little bit small, but maybe that's appropriate. It's just my thoughts. I felt kind of small. The other question that I had was around the limestone pathways. I really like that. But I was just also wondering there again, we don't really specify any kind of limitations on how long or so where is this again something that would kind of, it felt a little bit vague. Yes, thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I could, through Councilor Williams. It's difficult to speak to an actual linear measurement because each park has different focus areas if I look at the 4 main parks. So putting a prescribed measurement wouldn't necessarily be appropriate because each park has a different land area, different configuration, and their primary areas of focus are in different locations in the respective parks. The intent is that we will provide a limestone pathway, 2 meters of width, to link from the public access point, typically in Municipal Street, or in the case of Clyde, it could be the parking lot, through to the areas of focus, and the pluralized areas, because they could be disjointed throughout the park. And the intent is to have a safe passage of travel, especially from a barrier-free perspective, to those respective areas of focus.
So if I may, Councilor Rose, is that this is a design of the general nature of the park. So basically, we have a basic core structures of certain amenities. But how they're laid out and how they're done is defined because each park is unique and different. Would that be fair to say, Ms. Rose? And therefore, they can't put it in one document, because if they do, limit it, and it won't fit for us. So what we're saying is we're incorporating, these are basic elements that are going to have what the quantity is and length and everything else will be based upon the parties.
Thank you. I think some of my questions were also related to just to understand that some communities also like trails within their parks. So that would go perhaps beyond or outside the areas of focus. Would those trails then not be included within the base level of service?
Ms. Richards?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Wells. So again, this was just, like we said, like a base. So anything beyond that is, it's all negotiable. So it could be fundraised, or it could be, the material could be donated, or the services could be donated. But again, we just have to have that base to get us started. And then beyond that, we have design issues. So it's there, it's just not what we're calling a base amenity. Does that help?
So additional trails would then be an additional level of service. That would not be a base level of service. You're basically just talking about trails to your play structures and your pad or whatever it is.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Councilor Tilly?
Just in regards to the financial account maintained by the River Community, this threshold of $5,000, is that, I just want to clarify that the purpose of these funds shall be exclusively for spending the fundraising campaign. That is in regards to that this money is not actually used for any of the actual work to be done. This is just for the community to use for excuse me, the purposes of making the fundraising happen. I just want to clarify that.
Will you take this one? Ms. Winters? Okay, do you want?
Or, yeah, it's on, it's in section B, number 5.
On the council, Tilly, or on the actual MOU?
This is actually on the actual, MOU.
Ms. Fox?
Through you, Madam Mayor and Councilor Tilly, this is a typical line that we've put in all of our agreements with groups that are doing fundraising. The essential is to not add additional risk to the committee or organization by having them hold large amounts of donations. So we typically cap it at 5,000, and after that, they turn the donations over to us. And yes, there is time when, in order to fundraise, you have to spend some funds out of it, flyers or whatever. So that funds would be available for that purposes. And then the rest gets turned over to us. So when there's actual construction or work done at the parks, it is the township that undertakes that.
Any further questions on item B? If not, then we have Councilor Tilly muted item B. Thank you.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Osner. REC 01-2024, rural park amenities and memorandum of understanding template. One, that rec number 01-2024 be received, and that council adopt the following as a base level of service as amenities within the rural settlement area parks for Clyde, Branston, Brown subdivision, and Roseville as follows. Play structure geared to ages 2 to 12 years old. Unorganized play area, asphalt multi-purpose pad approximately 22.55 meters by 12.8 meters. A shade structure to accommodate 2 benches and or picnic table. Sitting area benches adjacent to the play structure and along with access path for the street to the principal activity to achieve AODA requirements. Tree plantings, limestone pathways with a width of 2 meters to provide access to areas of focus within the park. Park and trail head signage and designation where necessary. 3, that council adopt for future discussions with community groups in Branston, Clyde, Roseville, Brown subdivision, the framework of memorandum of understanding and support of the redevelopment, enhancement to the neighborhood parks in these rural settlement areas. Or that and that council appoint Councilor Wilms as council representative on the North Oak Ridge Browns subdivision community park committee, and that council appoint Councilor Chili as the council representative in the Clyde Park Review Committee.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And now the banner one, I just have one question, a few questions, if I may, switches. So we said that they have to play for 2 years, but what if someone has a day up year when he gets into those talk job in the first year?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I think at this point, it's a guideline, right? So we have to start somewhere. I think that we can have a look at that and determine if we want to make that change or exception. And on the application form, it does talk about that, like what are the highest accomplishments. But I think what I was trying to avoid is having someone who maybe got drafted to, say, OHL and only played for a couple games, that they did that wouldn't be something that we would accommodate, because I'm a little concerned over the number of people that could potentially have, and we only have so much wall space. So I thought it was kind of a 2 years was really established yourself as opposed to just a couple games. But the council was just to change that item.
If you don't mind, I'd like to ask council what they think. If you make it to the hotel, should you have the right to be then put up, or should it depend on what you play? Any thoughts, councils? Do we have a lot that we made it? Councilor Twitty?
I guess the whole point, and I'm passionate from, so this is a celebration of the people that live here, and it's hard to do that. I guess the limitation is a good idea if we're gonna have an outrageous amount of people doing it, but or maybe something in the verbiage where it says or as deemed, a community member, something to that effect. I agree that saying, if somebody did something wonderfully, but they didn't stay forever, that we didn't get. That's, we see some amazing people come to us, so, yeah, I kind of concur, but at the same time, it sounds like, it's not limited.
See, I don't know if you've had a huge number of that.
So we did have, I just speak to minor hockey and just to see where we would be at, and they said potentially there could be a lot for just the getting into OHL, not even necessarily even playing, but just getting into the league itself. So that's why I was a little bit concerned, and now I went to the 2 years. But again, council wishes to change.
I just want a clarification on it. Council will hold for it, hopefully when we call the issue. So, Councilor Tilly again, please, number 3. Oh. Yep. All right, number C, please.
Just one further question. Of course, this is not something that would be rigid wall. We can always adjust if some specific case came to place. That's what I heard you say.
Through the mayor, councilor Tilly, absolutely, where we can make those decisions as they come up. Just, I need to have some sort of guideline.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Osner, that REC -02 2024 display standard for banners, jerseys, pictures, and artifacts. One, that REC report number 02/2024 be received, and that the 2, that council approve the banners, jersey, pictures, and artifacts display standard for Township of North Dumfries. Allow staff to approve submitted application based on the criteria included in the standard.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. All right. Next, we have government services, protective services, the bylaws that are there, as well as the kennel license, etc. Any you want to pull any item? Councilor Williams.
I like to call the, B, property standards.
Seeing none others. Oh, I believe we have a presentation as well. Is that Jody? Oh, it's not. So,
Only if she has questions,
Only
if there's
if there's
questions, yeah.
so we're good to go. Do we want to talk about it first and then do the motion on the funds? We can, so go ahead, Councilor.
So just reading through the proposed property standards bylaw. So the old one is perhaps a little vague, but the new one seems to be extremely detailed, like really detailed. And it felt almost as though we were going from one extreme to the next extreme. When it comes to this, like there was just so much detail in there, and I was just reading through it, and I was like, you could just about, everybody might have issues with this bylaw. So I was really, I'm concerned, that it's gotten to a point where it's just too much, and, so I wanted to raise that concern here and understand better why we've gone this detailed and with opportunities to maybe dial it back.
If I may first see on the because I think we're chopping a bit. Bylaw is law. We have to follow the law of the law. So we have to encompass every situation that needs to be addressed. If it's not in there and a situation arises, we will use back in it. So that's why I say now, and bylaw is complaint-based. Our officers do not go out and enforce all this. They get complaints first, they investigate. The first stage is to talk to the individual that against them, and ask them to give them a date which comply on it. They follow up on the compliance then, and then it escalates from there. But it's a law, and a law can't have that's not at our discretion, it's a law. See, only really probably can be better than the can, please.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councilor Williams. Yes, you are correct. This bylaw in its draft form is far more comprehensive and very detail oriented. And that was a conscious act. You're comparing a bylaw from era 2009 to the context of 2024 and beyond. So you're almost looking at different eras of standards. The reality is, this property standards bylaw not only speaks to home ownership and the condition and state of a home, but more importantly, rental accommodations. And we have certain obligations as it relates to rental units and expectations for appropriate living space in rental units. We're gonna see more and more of this in the context of either purpose-built rental accommodation and or these accessory units that are now gonna be built as of right on residential lots. And so there is a lot of language there, because it'll be the municipality that will be called upon to ensure that people have an appropriate living space, in recognition of the Four Seasons in Canada and the appropriate amenities in that living space. So working with legal counsel, we have looked at some aspects of case law. We have looked at where judgments have been made and ensuring that we have not only the appropriate scope in terms of the types of properties that would make up in North Dumfries, but of importance, what the standards are and the definitions that go with it. The more certainty we have in the bylaw in terms of definitions and scope, the easier it is to enforce, but it's also easier it is to put a case before a justice of the peace if it escalates to that point where there's a dimension for the courts. And that's the basis behind football. Why we're rewriting the bylaw and modernizing it, but also scope and the specificity that is enshrined in the draft document. The intent of the draft is, with council's blessing, would be to go to public consultation, seek some input from members of public, and then return in the future for potential council in the month of March.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion, please, Councilor Roman?
Madam Mayor, I do notice on page 2 of the motion that there's a point we have to appoint the member of the council to the Board of Division.
That's correct, Madam Mayor. The draft motion is left blank at this point for the council's discussion for essentially volunteers, I guess, that are doing on who might wish to sit on that.
Oh, right, the Mitchell Dam. So, does anyone wish to sit on that? I would, Councilor Roman, if you want. Of course, go ahead.
I don't mind if nobody else is interested. I'm fine, I can do it. That sounds interesting.
We will appoint, anybody else? Either Williams will be the appointed councilor. Okay, go ahead, Councilor Roman, please.
Myself and Councilor Williams, as committee of the whole, recommend the following items be approved as presented, as outlined in the staff reports listed in the governance objectives of this function area. 10.4, A bylaw 01-2024, clean yards bylaw review. That bylaw report number 01-2024 be received. The staff be authorized to initiate a public consultation and engage a process to solicit input from interested members of the community on draft clean yards bylaw. And staff return to the March 11, 2024 meeting. Follow-up report to council. B bylaw 02-2024, property standards bylaw review. That bylaw report number 02-2024 be received. And the staff be authorized to initiate a public consultation and begin the process to solicit input from interested members of the community on the draft property standards bylaw. The staff return to the March 11, 2024 meeting with a follow-up report to council. C bylaw 03-2024 fence bylaw review. That bylaw report 03-2024 be received, and that staff returned in March 2024 with a new fence bylaw in a form generally consistent with attachment number 1 to the report and companion with proposed revisions bylaw, the clean yards bylaw and property standards bylaw for review and enactment. DCLK 01-2024, Township Representative, Initial Green Reporter Review Hearing. Report CLK 01-2024 received, and that council appoint Alita Williams to attend the Court of Revision hosted by the Township of Blanford Glen and the Grand Jack for the purpose of hearing appeals related to Mitchell Drain. ECLK 02-2024 Grand River Accessibility Advisory Committee appointments. That's CLK report number 02-2024 received. That the following applicants be reappointed to the Grand River Accessibility Advisory Committee for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2027. Any ratification by the partners, municipality of the City of Waterloo, Region of Waterloo, Township of Dunkley, Township of Wellesley, Township of Wilmot, and the Township of Woolwich. Heather Clark Harris, the City Commissioner, Paul Sanders, the City Commissioner, and Gary Spears, the City Commissioner. At CLK 04-2024, amendments to kennel license at 1271 Roseville Road. Report CLK 04-2024 be received, and that council amend condition placed on the kennel license at 1271 Roseville Road related to hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. GCLK 05-2024, the 2023 annual attendance reporting from members of the council. That CLK report number 05-2024 be received. And HFD 01-2024, Fire Department Incident Response Summary, December 2023 and 2023 year-end total. That FD report 01-2024 be received for citizen information.
Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. We now have the Janet City Council, Council Oscar, please.
Moved by myself, Secretary Council Tilly, and the committee of the whole be hereby adjourned and the council meeting be called back to order.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And just kind of see members, right? Councilor Austin? So this is Councilor Austin, you can read out to the whole decision, please.
Sure. Okay, moved by myself, second by Councilor Tilly. My council will adopt the resolution as presented by the committee of the whole dated January 29, 2024, respecting the following items. 10.2, Development Services Function Area, PDA 02-2024, proposed zoning bylaw amendment that say C 0323 for 1120 Sheffield Road. B, PW 02-2024, Hilltop Subdivision, Stage 3, Phase 1, and 3A, Letter of Credit Reduction Request. 10.3, Community Services Function Area, GW 01-2024, Truck with Aluminum Dump Box Acquisition. Rec 01-2024, Rural Park Amenities and Memorandum of Understanding Template. Rec 02-2024, Display Standard for banners, jerseys, pictures, and artifacts. Rec 03 for the High Faith Community Air 200 donation. 10.4, Governance and Protective Services Function Area. Bylaw 01-2024, Clean Yards Bylaw Review. Bylaw 02-2024, Property Standards Bylaw Review. Bylaw 03-2024, Fence Bylaw Review. COK 01-2024, Township Representative for Metro Drainage Court Revision Hearing. CLK 02-2024 Grand River Accessibility Advisory Committee appointments. CLK 04-2024, amendments to kennel license at 1271 Roseville Road. CLK 05-2024, 2023 annual attendance reporting from members of council. And FT 01 2024 Fire Department Incident Report Summary, December 2023 and 2023 year-end total.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And next is Council Williams, the minutes, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Council Mulligan, that council approve the following minutes. 11.2.1, council meeting minutes, November 27, 2023. 11.2.2 is Ward 4 Town Hall meeting minutes, December 5, 2023. 11.2.3, council meeting minutes, December 11, 2023. 11.2.4, council meeting minutes, January 15, 2024. And then 11.2.5, council meeting minutes, January 17, 2024.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Next, we have, information and communications. Anyone want to touch on any of those? Seeing none, can I have the motion, please, Councilor Tilly?
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Oster, the following be received for the purpose of information. 14.1.1, correspondence from the Iranian Academic Association. 14.1.2, correspondence from the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors. 14.1.3, correspondence requesting support for Plain Bay Street.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Mayor and councilors report, land for recreational, business, and that was to regards to the, paint farm. That was what?
Later.
Thoughts? Councilor Tilly?
As in regards to your questions, or my question would be, I'm thinking of extending a invitation to them to take a look, or to look into opportunities for them to use North Dufferin as a location for their business.
Actually, the motion says that we advise, Mr. Kim, Secretary, the Director of Township Planning Development, and, for available information. So, we're all good with that, okay? Let's have the motion, please, Councilor Owen.
So the Council Williams that the inquiry regarding available land for recreational business received from Court Kingston be received, and that Ms. Kingston be directed to Township Planning Department staff for any available information.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Next, we have bylaws, Councilor Austin, please. First reading.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Tilly, that the following bylaw be taken as read a first and second time, bylaw number 3460-24, being a bylaw to amend general zoning bylaw 689-83, the site-specific zone provision to permit a beverage distillation facility and accessory uses as an additional permitted use at 1120 Sheffield Road.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Can I have the third reading, please? Councilor Tilly.
Second by Councilor Oster, that the following bylaw be taken as read a third time and finally passed, bylaw number 3460-24, being bylaw to amend general zoning bylaw 689-83, site-specific zone provision to permit beverage distillation facility and accessory uses as an additional permitted use at 1120 Sheffield Road.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. So we're gonna stop there and go back to committee of the whole. Hearing adjustment. Thirty seconds, Council. You did good.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Tilly, that the council meeting be adjourned at 7 p.m. to sit as committee of the adjustment pursuant to the revisions from the planning. Act.
10 seconds.
Should have read slower.
4, 6, A94. Councillor Austin, please.
Councilor Noster, seconded by Councilor Tilly, that the council meeting be adjourned at 7 p.m. as committee adjustment pursuant to the provisions of the planning act.
All those in favor? Carries, thank you. And now I believe I'm turning it over to the clerk.
Just first item, yes, Madam Mayor, this is the first meeting of the newly constituted committee adjustment, with item of business that needs to be done is the selection of the chair and vice chair and some staff appointments. So as per the report that's in the agenda, it's certainly up to the committee for your selections of those positions. Historically, it has been the mayor and the deputy issue that which I understand for our Dumfries. So that's what's in the draft before you. So that's the mayor and the rest of the committee members. There's a draft motion up there with one of those members of the bishops.
Comments, questions, councils? Seeing none, can I have council vote on motion, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Rowland, that CLK report number 03-2024 be received. And that the committee appoint Mayor Foxton as chair and Councilor Austin as vice chair for the committee of adjustment for the period ending on December 31st, 2024. And that the committee appoint Brian Kruger as acting secretary and treasurer, Ashley Sage as secretary and treasurer, Cynthia Hislop as deputy secretary and treasurer, and Andrew McNeely as acting deputy secretary and treasurer for the committee of adjustment for 2024.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, members of the public can participate in the committee adjustment meeting in the following manners. Attend the meeting in person to speak on an application. Individuals who are present in person can speak to an application when it is reached on the agenda and will be asked to approach the podium to speak, providing their name and address for the public records. All speakers are provided with 5 minutes to address the application. The clerk will time each speaker and advise the chair when the limit has passed. Number 2 is register with the clerk's division in advance to attend an electronic meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who have registered to attend the electronically were provided with a Zoom link to join the meeting and have indicated to which application they would like to speak. Staff will move those individuals who have registered into the meeting to speak in the order of the application being heard. And thirdly, members of the public can submit written comments to the clerk's division. Written comments are provided to the mayor and council members prior to the meeting and will form part of the public record. 7.2 PD-01-2024 minor variance A-14-2023 for 1091 New Dundee Road. Notice has been given in accordance with the Planning Act. The Secretary Treasurer will record all persons who provide comments on this application. Those who attend and complete the attendance sheet at the back. So please sign the attendance sheet at the back so that you'll be updated on any further notifications. And registered with the clerk department to request a notice of decision. These individuals will be notified of decision or the convening of future meetings on the application. I'd like to introduce Michael Pappas, Manager of Planning, who will present this application. Michael, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council, senior staff, and members of the public. My name is Michael Campos, and I'm the manager of planning at the township. I'm here today to present planning's recommendation on minor variance application A-14/23 relating to 1091 New Dundee Road. The subject property is located on the south side of New Dundee Road, situated between Cameron Road to the east and Kings Road to the west, as is shown on the location map on this slide. Subject property is shaped as a parallelogram, providing 230 meters of frontage onto New Dundee Road and total lot area of approximately 4.3 hectares. Presently, the property is occupied with one single detached dwelling, as well as one accessory warehouse building, and is serviced by private well and septic systems. Surrounding land uses generally include agricultural related uses and rural residential properties south of New Dundee Road. To the north of New Dundee Road, residential and agricultural related uses are also located within the boundaries of the city of Gishon. The subject property is designated rural area and protected countryside by the township's official plan
and zone Z1 agriculture under township zoning bylaw number 689-83. The applicant has submitted a minor variance application to facilitate the development of a new principal residential dwelling on the property and to recognize the existing dwelling as a coach house. Shown on this slide is the conceptual site plan for the subject property. The applicant is proposing to construct a new residential dwelling with a total area of 238 square meters, or approximately 2,500 square feet in size, 1 story in height with a rear walkout basement and an attached garage. The proposed dwelling is planned to be located on an elevated area of the property, which is currently vacant and sits immediately north of the existing accessory warehouse building on the western side of the property. The proposed new dwelling is being designed to be located approximately 23 meters from the front yard property line and approximately 30 meters from the interior side yard property line. Property currently enjoys 2 accesses from New Dundee Road. The first access provides a direct driving path to the existing accessory warehouse building. The applicant is proposing to use this existing access as a shared access for both the new principal dwelling and for the warehouse to the rear. The existing residential dwelling, which the applicant is proposing to be recognized as a coach house, is located to the east of the accessory warehouse and is 208 square meters, or just above 2,200 square feet in size. Provides a single-story facade, an attached garage, and a walk-in basement. The second driveway access currently exists off of New Dundee Road, which provides direct access to the coach house. As shown on the screen, we have 2 images of the property taken from New Dundee Road, looking southward. On the first image on the left, you can see the 2 existing driveway accesses, each leading to their respective building. The existing dwelling, which is proposed to be recognized as the coach house, is the building on the left, and on the right is the existing accessory warehouse. The photo on the right identifies the proposed location of the new principal dwelling, which is planned to sit on an elevated area of the property just north of the existing warehouse building. The driveway access shown in this image will act as a shared access to both the new principal dwelling and to the warehouse. And so in order to facilitate the development of the proposed new residential dwelling and to recognize the existing dwelling as a coach house, the applicant submitted a minor variance application which seeks relief from 3 provisions of the township zoning bylaw. May include the following. Section 6.40.2, which establishes that a coach house shall only be permitted within a zone in association with a single attached dwelling. So relief is required from this provision temporarily, as the proposed coach house will be the only existing dwelling on the property until such time as the new principal dwelling is constructed. Once the new principal dwelling is constructed, the existing dwelling will be recognized as a coach house in association with the new single attached dwelling. Section 6.40.7, which establishes the size of the coach house, must not be greater than 40% of the footprint of the principal dwelling. The applicant is seeking relief from this provision to permit the coach house to be 87.3% of the footprint of the principal dwelling, which equates to an increase in the maximum allowable size by 47.3%. Finally, section 6.40.7, which establishes that a basement is not permitted within a coach house. The applicant is seeking relief from this provision as the existing dwelling, which is proposed to be recognized as a coach house, has already been constructed with a basement. Planning staff have received 2 pieces of written correspondence from neighboring property owners at 1109 New Dundee Road and 1113 New Dundee Road, which have both been included as attachments to staff's recommendation report. Both residents provided their full support for the creation of a new dwelling on the property and have no objections to the proposed minor variance application. No other public comments were received. And with respect to agency comments received through the circulation of the application for review, no comments of concern were received, and no comments were required to be addressed in order for this recommendation to proceed to a decision. So planning staff completed a detailed review of the complete application that was submitted to the township in support of this application, including a concept plan and a planning justification report. Staff completed a fulsome review of the justification report, all comments received through the circulation review period and correspondence received from members of the community. It is the opinion of staff that the proposed variances meet the 4 tests for a minor variance, which include whether it meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan, whether it meets the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, whether the variances are desirable for the appropriate development of the land, and whether the variances are minor in nature. With regard to the first variance, being a variance to seek relief from section 6.40.2, which requires that a coach house shall only be permitted within a zone in association with a single attached dwelling, it is the opinion of staff that this variance meets the 4 tests for a minor variance. The applicant is only seeking temporary relief from this provision as the proposed coach house is already existing and therefore will continue to exist as the owner proceeds with the construction of the new principal dwelling. Once the new principal dwelling is constructed, the coach house will be conforming with provision 6.40. It is the opinion of staff that the variance meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan, as the official plan regulates uses through the township zoning bylaw, which permits a coach house within the applicable zone applied to the lands. The general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw is also met as the applicant is only temporarily seeking relief from this provision. It is desirable and appropriate for the development of the land as the coach house is already existing and will not introduce any new adverse impacts that have not already been experienced on the property. And finally, it is minor in nature as the request is for temporary relief. The second variance, being a variance to seek relief from section 6.40.7 of the bylaw, requires that a coach house not be greater than 40% of the footprint of the principal dwelling. It is the opinion of staff that the proposed variance meets the 4 tests for a minor variance. The proposed variance continues to meet the general intent and purpose of the official plan. Property is designated as rural area and protected countryside, but is not currently actively being used as a farm, nor is it viable for agricultural uses. While the official plan policies seek to encourage the maintenance of agricultural uses, they also seek to maintain large rural properties and to allow residential development. The variance meets the general intent and purpose of the bylaw, which is to allow coach houses in association with the principal dwelling. The applicant has successfully complied with all minimum provisions of the bylaw, with the exception of the 2 non-compliant provisions that are being applied for through this variance application. The variance is desirable for the development of the land as it does not propose any new land use that has not already been existing on the site, and is located on a property that can comfortably accommodate 2 dwellings without causing any impact on the rural property or surrounding properties. And finally, the variance is minor in nature as the proposed coach house is already existing on the site, is set back significantly from the frontage of the property and the interior side yards, and therefore will not cause any additional impact on the property or surrounding properties. And finally, the third and final variance is a variance to seek relief from section 6.40.10, which establishes that a basement is not permitted within a coach house. It is of staff's opinion that the variance also meets the 4 tests for a minor variance. For the same reasons described previously, the variance meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. It is desirable for the appropriate development of the land and is minor in nature as the coach house is already existing with the water rights. So based on the review of the application and submission material provided, it is staff's recommendation that minor variance application A14/23 for 1091 New Dundee Road be approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Derek, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor Coxon. GSP Group, acting as the agent on behalf of the owner of land, just like to state that we have had the opportunity to review staff's report and we agree with all of the recommendations of.
I'd be surprised if you didn't.
Happy to answer the questions.
Any questions, councilors? Seeing none, thank you. Any members of the public wish to speak? Seeing none, any members of council will take comments. Seeing none, can I have a motion, please, Councilor Tilley?
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Ossner, that PD report number 01/2024 be received, and that 2, that minor variance of application A14/2023 or A14/23 being a request to permit A, relief from section 6.40.2 of the general zoning bylaw number 689-83, which establishes that a coach house shall only be permitted within the zone in association with a single detached dwelling. The application is seeking relief from this provision temporarily as the proposed coach house will only be dwelling on the property until such time as the proposed new principal dwelling is constructed. Once the new principal dwelling is constructed, the existing dwelling will be recognized as a coach house in association with the new single detached dwelling. B, relief from section 6.40.7 of the general zoning bylaw number 689-83, which establishes the size of the coach house must not be greater than 40%, 95.2 square meters of the footprint of the principal dwelling. The applicant is seeking relief from this provision to permit the coach house be 87.3%, 208 square meters of the footprint of the principal dwelling, which equates to an increase in maximum size of 47.3%, 111.2, 112.8 square meters And C, relief from section 6.40.10 of the general zoning bylaw number 689-83, which establishes that a basement is not permitted within a coach house. The applicant is seeking relief from this provision as the existing dwelling on site which is proposed to become a coach house has already been constructed with a basement. The existing dwelling provides a single-story facade, while the rear of the building features a walkout basement.
Thank you. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. 7.3 PD 03-2024, consent application B 04/23 and B 05/23 for 56 Pike Street. Notice has been given in accordance with the Planning Act. The Secretary and Treasurer will keep records of all persons who provide comments on the application. Those who attend and please complete the attendance sheet at the back. Provided, and those who register with the Police Department to request a notice of decision. These individuals will be notified of the decision or the convenience on this application. I'd like to introduce Christina Blazanova, Planner, GIS Tech, who will present this application. Christina, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following presentation is for consent applications B 04/23 and B 05/23 located at 56 Piper Street. The purpose of this meeting is to provide an overview of the proposal, to solicit comments, and identify issues or matters to be assessed by staff. The property is located on the north side of Piper Street between Walter Street and Church Street. The property has a lot frontage of approximately 16.7 meters onto Piper Street and is 2.5 acres in size. This property consists of a one-story single detached dwelling, and surrounding land uses are residential. The subject property is zone Z5 urban residential as well as Z12 open space in the township zoning bylaw, and the property is designated urban residential and ancillary in the township official plan. The applicant has submitted 2 consent applications. The purpose of the consent applications is to convey the northeast portion of the subject property as 2 lot additions to the adjacent properties located at 52 Piper Street and 40 Piper Street. No new lots will be created through these consent applications. B 04/23 proposes to convey part 2 of the subject property as shown on the consent sketch as a lot addition to the adjacent property located at 52 Piper Street. The proposed lot addition, if approved, would convey an area of approximately 918 meters squared. B 05/23 proposes to convey part 3 of the subject property, as shown on the consent sketch, as a lot addition to the adjacent property located at 40 Piper Street. The proposed lot addition, if approved, would convey an area of approximately 2,114 meters squared. The photo on the top left is a street view of 56 Piper Street. And the photo on the bottom right is a street view of 40 Piper Street. The yellow dashed line is an approximate lot boundary between 40 Piper Street and 56 Piper Street to the rear. As you can see from this photo, the land is proposed to be conveyed as lot additions to both 40 and 52 Piper Street consists of natural areas that extend to the Neck River. There have been no comments or concerns received from any members of the public. There are no objections from the Engineering and Public Works Department, Fire Department, Regional Waterloo, or Building Department. The GRTA has no objections with the proposed application. However, they request that the existing restrictive zoning of Z12 open space at the rear of the subject property be maintained to ensure there is no construction of private buildings or structures. Staff recommends that all comments and correspondence received from members of the public and government agencies through the consultation process be returned to staff for a future report to the committee on the disposition of this matter. Staff will be considering matters including all comments and correspondence received with the subject proposal and opinion of staff if staff is desirable for the property and compatible with surrounding uses, whether development conforms with the township official plan and general zoning bylaw, and the impact of the proposed lot additions to surrounding properties in the neighboring area. Thank you.
Thank you. Would Paul or Anne like to say anything? Okay. Any members of the public would like to say anything? Members of council, any questions or comments? Can I have a motion, please, Council Rowland?
myself and Council Williams that the report number 03-2024 be received and all comments and correspondence received in the competition process to return to staff for consideration of the report to the committee on this mission of this report.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you, thank you. If somebody want to get there, please.
So it's
Yes. 7.4, PB 04-2024, consent application B -0623 and E -0723 for 120 Silvera. Notice has been given in accordance with the Planning Act. The Secretary Treasurer will keep record of all persons who provide comments on this application. Those who attended and complete the application, attendance sheet provided, and those who register with the Clerk's Department to request a notice of decision. These individuals will be notified of this decision or the convening of future meetings on this application. I'd like to introduce Christina Latino, planner, GIS technician, who will present this application. Christina, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following presentation is for consent applications B06/23, B07/23, and minor variance applications A15/23 and A16/23, located at 1820 Whistledown Road. The purpose of this meeting is to provide an overview of the proposal, to solicit comments and identify issues or matters to be assessed by staff. The property is located at the northwest corner of Dickey Settlement Road and Whistledown Road, known as the Whistledown Golf Club. The property consists of two impact roads municipally addressed as 1820 Whistledown Road and 1316 Dickey Settlement Road. The property has a lot frontage of approximately 569 meters onto Whistledown Road and is 92.3 hectares in size. The property is zoned Z1 agriculture and Z12 open space, with site-specific exemption 20.1.218. Exemption 218 permits the golf course use on the property. The property is designated open space in the township official plan. Surrounding land uses consist primarily of agriculture, aggregate operations, and open space. A campground is also located adjacent to the subject property to the west. The subject property is a listed heritage resource on the municipal heritage registry. Through consultation with staff, it has been determined that the requirement of a cultural heritage impact assessment is not required, as there are no proposed changes to the listed heritage resource and no new development is proposed. The subject property is accessed through Whistledown Road as well as Dickey Settlement Road and consists of the following: a golf course, including a clubhouse and maintenance shop, golf court storage building, municipally addressed as 1316 Dickey Settlement Road, a two-story single detached dwelling with a detached garage that is accessory to the golf course, which is municipally addressed as 1820 Whistledown Road, and there is a contractor's yard for the company Regional Sewer and Water Main located west of the existing residence, and this is municipally addressed as 1850 Whistledown Road. The use of the small contractor's yard was established through minor variance application A02/14. The contractor's yard, including vehicle repair, outdoor storage, and administration offices, is limited to an area occupying 0.78 hectares and has a 137 meter frontage along Whistledown Road. The use of the area for the contractor's yard, including the vehicle repair, outdoor storage, and administrative offices, can only be utilized by Whistledown Golf Course and the business operations of Regional Sewer and Water Main. The detached accessory garage constructed in front of the residential dwelling at 1820 Whistledown Road was approved through minor variance application A-11/21, and this detached garage is accessory to the golf course. The applicant proposes to sever the subject property, creating two new lots. B06/23, which is lot 1, proposes to sever the existing contractor's yard from the golf course to create a new non-residential lot. The proposed severance, if approved, would result in a lot frontage of 137.3 meters onto Whistleberg Road with a corresponding lot area of 0.78 hectares. The proposed lot is highlighted in red on the screen. B07/23, which is lot 2, proposes to sever the existing residential dwelling and the detached garage from the golf course to create one new agriculturally zoned rural residential lot. The proposed severance, if approved, would result in a lot frontage of 85.3 meters onto Whistleberg Road with a corresponding lot area of 0.41 hectares. The proposed severed lot is highlighted blue on the screen. The following minor variances are being requested for both of these proposed lots. Section 7.2.1 of the general zoning bylaw requires a minimum lot area of 35 hectares for the Z1 agricultural zone. Lot 1 is proposing a lot area of 0.78 hectares, and Lot 2 is proposing a lot area of 0.41 hectares. The second variance, section 7.2.2 of the general zoning bylaw requires a minimum lot frontage of 230 meters for the Z1 agricultural zone. Lot 1 is proposing a lot frontage of 137.3 meters, and Lot 2 is proposing a lot frontage of 85.3 meters. The photo in the top left is just a view of the contractor's yard from Whistleberg Road. And the photo in the bottom right is a view of the adjacent residential dwelling and the detached garage that's accessory to the golf course. There have been no comments received from any members of the public at this time. The application has been circulated to agencies and departments, and staff are awaiting comments. Comments will be provided through future recommendation report and presentation. Staff recommends that all comments and correspondence received from members of the public and government agencies through the consultation process be returned to staff for a future report to the committee on the disposition of this matter. Staff will be considering matters including all comments and correspondence received, if the proposal and opinion of staff is desirable for the property, whether the development meets the criteria of the 4 tests of the minor variance, the impact of the proposed development on surrounding properties, and whether this development conforms to the township official plan and general zoning bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. I believe, does the applicant, Melissa Advisor from MHPC Planning wish to state anything? Melissa?
Hi, Council and Committee. Thank you for having me. I'm Melissa Visser from MHPC. I'm just here in support of the application and to answer any questions that you might have tonight.
Thank you. Anybody in the public wish to say anything? Any members of council, any questions? Councilor Rowland.
Mayor, I just have a question to staff for clarification. It seems to me that this was before us in the previous council, 2022. And there's an accessory building that we approved, I think at that time, that was supposed to be accessory to the golf course, but not to the residents. But I'm just wondering how that impacts this.
Madam Major, Councilwoman, that's correct. That was an accessory building approved, and it's accessory to the golf course, so that's something that staff will be looking into in terms of the proposed consents when we bring forward a recommendation.
Thank you. Councilor Osmer, please.
That's basically where it's going with my question, that this property has come up before for variances. And now we're creating 2 separate lots from the golf course. Is this a staged process? Like I can't recall exactly what we did. I remember what the opposite of the accessory building, it wasn't going to be a building that was going to be a private dwelling. It was strictly going to be for golf course purposes. We approved that under that, and now it seems like it's going to stage 2, where we're now severing it, and it's no longer, I believe, going to be used for Whistleberg. Or is that the plan? Are we creating 2 residential lots here and just kind of, softly doing it through minor variances, and the next thing you know, the accessory building goes down and we've created another residential lot? I just don't know where we're going with this, but I know that this property is being a subject of discussion before.
through you, Mayor Hopkins, to Councillor Osner. So you are correct. We did see a minor variance application come forward through the committee last year. And that was for the accessory structure. And it was for the golf course. That's how the application came forward to staff and through the committee. And this new application again has come forward. It's not to create two separate residential lots. At this present time, one is to sever off the regional sewer and pipe, which is an industrial contractor's yard, and the other is to sever off the house. As Councilor Rowland had indicated before, what happens to the accessory structure, because we were under the impression, staff and council, workly, I apologize, that it was accessory to the golf course. That's how it was presented, and that is how it was approved. So again, when staff are going through the recommendation portion, these are considerations that we have to take into consideration and think out how and what will have to happen in order to be able to either recommend this for approval or whether it can be or not. So again, anybody can make an application for a planning application, and that's where we're at. Staff are reviewing the application in front of them and again, garnering comments from both agencies and the public. And we'll bring forward a report at the next meeting on this matter.
Councillor Austin.
Thank you. And my reference to creating another eventual residential lot. Now I understand that, and that may be just fine. I just don't know. It'd be nice to know what, with this application, what the intention is, because we seem to be doing step by step rather than, you know, why didn't we do this 2 years ago? Last year, so, no, 2 years ago. So I just want to know, and it might be, absolutely fine, but I just want to know why we're going now from an accessory building for the golf course, severing two lots, creating services to each lot. I mean, it sounds to me like, it's just moving in a direction. I'd just like to know where that direction goes. And like I said, it might be totally fine, but I just want to know what these baby steps are.
Through you, Ms. Foxton, Councillor Osner, we've heard your concerns, and we will circle back to the applicant to understand and try and gain some answers on your questions, so that then when the report comes forward in front of the committee, staff will be able to answer those questions based on the information provided by the applicant.
Any other questions, councillors? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please, Councillor Austin?
Myself, second by Councilor Cillian, that PD report number 04/2024 be received, that all comments and correspondence received through the consultation process be returned to staff for consideration and future report to the committee on the disposition of this matter.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Williams, we're doing number 7, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by that pursuant to the Planning Act, the committee adjustment to adjourn at 7:33 p.m. and the council meeting be called back to order.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Williams again, the bylaw to conclude proceedings, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Holman, that bylaw number 3457-24, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council held on January 29, 2024, be read a first, second, third time. We finally passed, standing, seat, and sealed by the mayor and clerk.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Austin, please, is this council meeting? Number 22.
Move by myself, second by Councilor Cillian, that whereas business before this council meeting has been completed at 7:34 p.m. and be it resolved that this meeting adjourned.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.